One. Hi,
Hi,
besties.
besties! Welcome back to The Pop. I'm Michelle,
I'm Maddie.
and this is your weekly pop culture podcast. Woo! Today's an episode.
Boy, is it an episode. Holy shit.
So
God.
today, we're going to go over all things Euphoria Season 2 as the finale just aired.
Yes. And we don't really have news for the week.
Yeah, I figured
So-
it would be a good idea because we can talk for hours on this to just get straight into it.
Yeah. And we got a good amount of feedback on our Instagram stories about the show. So I have a feeling that people are just going to want to hear us immediately talk about this anyways. So, yeah.
And if you're watching, you might notice we're a little in theme this week as well.
Mm-hmm.
I came prepared with my glitter, my red hoodie.
I forgot my glitter, but I did my makeup earlier
That's
before
okay.
work.
This season 2 lacked
No.
glitter, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I'm doing the green shadow in style of Maddie.
There you
Because
go.
I'm Maddie.
There you go.
Come on now.
So this episode, we're going to run down like what happens in every single episode of season 2, our thoughts as we go through, and then our thoughts on the whole as a season.
Also, if you don't want any spoilers, don't listen.
Yeah, that is
Don't
your
watch.
warning in this moment.
Yeah, this
If
is about
you don't want to know what
everything.
happens, turn it off now.
If you haven't watched the finale, go ahead and just like turn this off, watch it, make a little like U-turn and come back. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you'll want to hear our thoughts after you know what happens. But
or if you want to recap, yeah.
Exactly, a recap. Or let's say you don't watch the show, but you know what's been going on because it's so like everywhere, on every timeline on social media, and you just want to know like a breakdown. You don't really want to watch the show, but you want to know what happened.
You want to be involved in the conversation.
Exactly. And we're gonna have to wait like 2 years for the new season anyway, so this one will be fun.
Yeah. So I think we should jump right into it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, starting with episode 1, I took some notes on kind of the general things that happen in episode 1. Mm-hmm. If you ask me, I think the superior episodes of this season are 1, 5, 7.
Yeah, I agree.
So starting with a banger, one of the superior episodes of the season, we start off the season with Fez's backstory. We find out a little bit more about his grandma, who in Rue's words is a motherfucking G.
She's a fucking G.
Motherfucking G. She is a drug dealing G.
Yeah.
Who is beating people with crowbars left and right.
Yeah. And you find out that Fez lives with his grandma because his dad would abuse him. So, also, I don't know why this was needed if you watch the show or you don't, but trigger warning. There's pretty much every single trigger warning for this show. So, if you're very sensitive to this kind of content, don't listen. But anyway, sorry, moving on.
Moving on, back to the violence.
Yeah.
So, we also find out why Fez has a scar on his head.
Yes.
When his his grandma's going to whack somebody with a crowbar. He fell his back. She ends up swinging back and smacks him in the head, and that's why he has that large scar on his head, which was written in for the script because Angus Cloud does actually just have that scar on his head.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I thought he just has it. Like, that's definitely not makeup. Like, unless it was like a super like essential part of the story, they wouldn't like give him a prosthetic or makeup or anything.
I know after this episode, he was in an interview where they asked him, like, oh, did you know that's why they, like, left your scar out this whole time? Like, back in season 1, did they tell you? And he's like, nah, I was just rocking with my scar out. And I was like, yes. Yes.
I love him. My Krispy Kremes.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Krispy Kremes.
So we also find out Ashtray is not his brother. He was a baby that was left for the grandma in exchange for drugs.
Yes.
And they were just taking care of him since then. We also find out what happened to grandma. I don't think they said it in detail, but I believe she either has a stroke or a seizure of some kind that leaves her basically brain dead because Fez didn't want to call the ambulance to come to the house where the drugs are, and he drove her instead.
Yeah.
So that's why now Fez is taking care of his grandma, who is either brain dead or just in like a coma. They never really give us the details.
Yeah,
we just
she's
know
kind
that
of,
she's
like,
unable to really live a life at this moment.
she's kind of just in like a vegetable state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that Ashtray has basically grown up in the house. We don't know if Ashtray ever went to school. We just know
Yeah.
that Fez and Ashtray have been with each other the whole time.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
And they met in the hallway of his grandma's house.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other opening part of this episode is Fez takes Ashtray and Rue to Lori's house on New Year's Eve. Lori is a pretty scary drug dealer.
It's scary, but not in the way like a stereotypical scary drug dealer where you're like shitting your pants. She's so calm.
Yeah.
And collected. And she said that she was a teacher for children, like very much like,
I've never
been
angry in my life.
Yeah, I've never been angry in my life. Like that kind of scary.
Yeah. So this is the
like,
first time we're introduced to her in the show.
Yeah.
And it gets a little intense. Everyone strips down aside from Rue, held at gunpoint. We meet Faye and her boyfriend, who is just...
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name. I looked it up like 10 seconds ago, and I was like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we meet them as well. They're involved with all of the drugs and trafficking, and we'll get back into that as it goes on, but we have to get to the meat of this episode, which is the New Year's Eve party.
The main point.
So everybody, and I mean everybody, shows up to this New Year's Eve party.
Everybody.
We have Maddie, Kat, Jules, oh my gosh, Rue, Fez, Ashtray, they show up. The people that are missing at the beginning of the party are Cassie and Nate. So we start off and Lexi's like, oh my gosh, Maddie, have you seen Cassie? And she's like, no, why? And Lexi's like, oh, we got in a fight and she left out the car and is walking around. I don't know where she is, blah, blah. So now we know Cassie's missing.
Yeah.
Cut to Cassie, she's at a gas station, already pretty drunk.
Like pretty drunk.
Yeah. Just upset about life, I guess. I don't really know what she's so upset about.
I think she's just upset with Lexi.
She's
I'm
like,
sure
I'm
that's
single.
just the extent of it. Well,
Whatever.
yeah, because she and McKay broke up and, you know.
Oh, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's drinking at the gas station, and who walks up but Nate? And she's like,
the worst man in the world.
Hey, Nate. And he's like, hey, Cassie, you want to ride to this party? And she's like, okay, I guess. There's more. I'm just going to do it quickly. They get in the car. So much drinking and driving in this show, by the way.
Yeah.
Like in this episode, like but also the more I went through it, I was like, they can drink and drive.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the amount of drugs that Rue does, they're drinking and driving.
I guess it's like, you know what, they're kids drinking already. It's already illegal. Like, let's just, you know, what's it gonna do?
Yeah, basically in the car ride, Nate's drinking, Cassie's drinking. He puts on some Orville Peck for whatever reason.
They were like, hey, did you know he's gay?
Literally,
did you know that Nate is gay yet?
Every time Nate's driving the car, I'm like, that's such a strange choice for him to do in that car. But moving on, Cassie's taking off her underwear in the car for whatever reason.
He's going 100 miles an hour
out the car. Yeah, they're like, how did they not die?
I don't know.
How are they not dead? Whatever.
Beats me.
Flashback to the party. Everyone's having a good time thus far. Rue ends up going to the laundry room where she runs into this boy, Elliot, who we're introduced to for the first time.
Ugh.
While he's doing cocaine, Rue's like, what's that? And he's like, it's nothing. And she's like, is it drugs? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, give me some. So yeah, Rue is definitely, if the ending of season 1 did not tell you that, Rue has definitely relapsed and she's on 100% back.
Oh, don't trust her. She's on crack.
Literally, the definition of don't trust her. She's on crack.
Yeah.
So Rue ends up, I believe, having a heart attack during the party.
Yeah, she literally says to Elliot, hey, I think I'm having a heart attack. Go into my shoe and grab my Adderall, just crush it up. And she snorts some Adderall, and it saves her life.
The funniest part is he did it. Like, he didn't tell anyone. He wasn't like, hey, that girl just had a heart attack. Should we call an ambulance?
No.
He was like, cool, casual.
I mean, the longer the show goes on, I guess that makes sense with his character anyways, though, so.
Going back to the party now, Maddie has to go to the bathroom. It's the famous,
Wait, it's us? Literally facing each other.
Nate, open up. And she hears Nate's in the bathroom. But who's in the bathroom with Nate?
Who might you ask?
It's Miss Cassie.
Miss Cassie, Maddie's little BFF.
Fully having sex on the bathroom door.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Cassie is like full breakdown mode in hysterics the second she realizes Maddie's banging at the door.
Well, Nate, yeah, she's a fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah. Nate is like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. You're so fucking annoying. He goes, Maddie's here. Maddie. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, what are you doing here, man?
So Nate's genius plan to get them out of this situation is he hides Maddie in the he hides Cassie in the bathtub while he leaves and Maddie comes in to pee.
I mean, it's not the worst plan.
No.
If she couldn't get out, like, it's literally the
I guess it worked. We get another iconic piss rag thrown onto Cassie's face accidentally, which I am shocked they never found her in the bathtub.
Yeah. Well, because her phone goes off while Maddie's in there with some guy, and he's like, yo, there's a chick in the bathtub because her phone's going off and like all this stuff. And Maddie's like, I don't care, let's go dance. Which, like, I guess makes sense, but also, like, damn, that was close.
Yeah.
Shit.
That scene was stressful.
Very stressful.
To say the least. Going back to the party, now we get a little bit of Kat. So Kat, where we left off in season 1, is dating Ethan, King of Kings.
The best character on the show.
He is top 5, hands down, no question about it.
He's top 3.
Don't even.
Okay.
So anyway, we kind of get a hint that Kat's not really feeling this as much as she did at the end of season 1.
They've only been dating for like what?
Literally
2 weeks.
The end of season 1 was the end of the first semester, like the fall semester.
Yeah.
This starts New Year's Eve. So it could, like, it had to have been within like 3 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks.
Like maybe.
She literally was like, we went on 2 dates. I kind of don't like him anymore.
She went, he's really nice, but
I don't know.
Other people at the party, Rue and Jules talk again. And Jules is like, hey, Rue. And Rue's like, sup. And they have like a mini squabble.
Also, Rue is hiding that she's on drugs.
Yeah.
From everyone.
Yeah. Nobody probably, I guess at this point, Elliot and maybe Fez knows that Rue is on drugs.
Yeah.
Later in the episode, as Rue is more high, she goes and talks to she goes and talks to Jules, and they get back together by the end of the episode.
Thanks, I hate it.
I can't.
I hate them together. They're just not good together.
Literally, I'm gonna be honest. Even if you were
together.
shipping them from season 1, I still don't trust you.
No. Literally, okay, Jules' character development, she has some of the best character development, to be honest, I think, personally, and that says a lot because she was barely in this season.
Yeah. She really wasn't.
I really kind of hated her in the first season because of how shitty she was to Rue, but that was also Rue's problem. And Jules didn't think about it, and, anyways. But yeah, if you like them together, I don't trust you. They're not good together. Like, give it a break. Give it a rest.
Just to finish up this episode, at the end, we also see throughout the episode that Fez and Lexi have been talking all night, being cutesy-wootsy, some light flirting.
Mm-hmm.
Fez ends the conversation by telling Lexi that talking to her was the best part of his entire year. Flutters. But then you thought that was the best thing Fez has done. Then he ups it and he goes to talk to Nate. Ending their little conversation by beating the shit out of him and breaking a Tito's bottle on his head and then almost beating him to an unconscious state. And you
literally breaking his jaw.
Yeah. Like you thought Fez couldn't get better, and then he does.
I have to say, the lines of, hey man, hey, last time you saw me, you said you wanted to kill me. Yeah? Happy New Year's. Boom. And
Fantastic.
it blew me away.
Yeah.
Blew me away, man. Like,
that
so
episode,
good.
so now just to talk about like kind of our full opinions of the episode, that episode I was like, oh, we're walking into something good.
Yeah.
This could be it.
Really, really high, like, it put my expectations through the roof.
Yeah, the cinematography, the music, the outfits,
okay,
the makeup, like I was like,
the cinematography of it was so pretty. And this is also like the first episode that they've shot on like film, you know.
Yeah.
They shot it on Kodak, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say, like, to shoot on film in itself is expensive, but to do it with COVID restrictions.
They also had Kodak recreate a camera for them that was no longer available. The money this show has.
Yeah. HBO was like, here. He said,
thank you. Sam went, thank you.
Thank you.
So and the expectations.
I don't forgive you for any of it.
Oh, no. I don't. The expectations were high. And this episode, like, it was like a very good mix of what everybody likes about Euphoria. The nudity wasn't insane, right? It wasn't like over the top. I think we got everything from every character we wanted.
Yeah. It was like an amount of like, the nudity was like, all right, that's fine. Don't push it any further than this, but like, it doesn't bother me, you know?
Yeah, like it felt like the nudity that would be like, yes, if this was happening, that is about as much as like, the view, whatever. You get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But now we go on to episode 2. And I already knew this episode was going to suck because it started with Nate.
Yeah.
It opens up with another Nate sequence. And immediately I was like, we have to do another Nate episode. We already did that.
Yeah.
But here we are again. This. And it is one of, if not the most over-the-top nudity this show offers.
Oh my God.
We have a sequence inside Nate's head basically showing he's in love now. In love with Cassie, possibly Jules. The sequence is alluding to a lot of different things inside Nate's head, mostly that he is fucked up.
Yeah.
That
if you didn't get that from any point in the last season.
Help.
Yeah.
Please, God.
Someone do something. I'm begging.
It's a lot. We also find out how deep his daddy issues go.
Yeah.
The sequence, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Like it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Like really weird. And if you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it.
I don't want to. I'm good.
It's weird. No, I don't mean you. I mean whoever's watching or listening and wants to know. Like, just go watch it, and then you'll see like what we mean.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like a good 15 minutes of like, why this much time on this?
I just felt very uncomfortable for the first 10, 15 minutes. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Then we also find out that Jules hasn't met Elliot until this episode and is weirdly jealous. She immediately is like, oh, he wants to fuck you, Rue, or you want to fuck him, and is like ironically jealous considering that last season, the thing she did while in a semi-relationship with Rue.
Yeah.
You know, it's like ironic because you're like, wait, weren't you like kissing Rue and like sleeping in beds with her and like being really romantic and then ran away and went and had sex with different girls?
Yeah.
Kind of strange. Whatever. Rue's also, again, high out of her mind.
I don't know how no one notices.
Nobody notices. This girl walks into doors.
Obvious.
Yeah.
There's a very obvious difference from when she's high and when she's not. So, like, I don't understand how no one notices.
I don't know.
Anyways, moving on.
Then we get pretty much our last bit of Kat story as she shows us... This is pretty much all we're going to get for Kat. So then we go to Kat and Ethan about to have sex when he's like, oh, I had to go to the bathroom. I wonder what that's for. And Kat essentially has like a fantasy about one of her like fan fiction ideas of a man killing Ethan and then like aggressively having sex with her. Till we find out that Kat realizes it's not Ethan, it's her that has a problem. It is just like, I think the storyline was meant to show that your fan fiction ideas, which we just talked about this last episode.
We did. And we talked about Euphoria.
Yeah, give you unrealistic expectations of what real life and real relationships and real sexual relationships are like, especially when you're in a healthy, stable, good relationship.
Like the healthiest of them all.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
This episode, we also find out Lexi is thinking about creating some type of art. We get a sequence where Lexi's directing a TV show about her life. It is fantastic.
It's so good.
Every scene
it was
with
like
Lexi.
It's like a behind the scenes.
Yeah. Not a whole lot else happened in this episode, except Cal is like, why is Nate getting beat up? Who beat you up? We find out that Lexi goes to see Fez at his convenience store, and while she's there, Cal shows up and basically interrogates Fez to find out that Fez was the one who beat up Nate. Cal then goes to Nate and was like, why did you get beat up by a drug dealer? Where Nate says the iconic line, remember that student or my classmate of mine that you fucked?
I kind of hate him, but like he was iconic.
But I was
like I hate that Nate is the worst character and maybe ever written. Yeah. Right? I kind of rooted for him sometimes this season where I was like,
There were moments where I'm gonna be honest. When the episode 1 started and I saw Jacob Elordi, I was like, God damn, I forgot how hot he is. I was like, oh. And then he started, I don't know, speaking, and I was like, I can't.
Like you're always like, wow, I like him, and then like he is Nate, and you're like, oh, I hate him.
I can't.
I hate him.
Can't.
He's disgusting.
But essentially, Cal finds out that Nate knows about the CD, and the CD is missing. Somebody has the tape of Cal and Jules, and as far as we know, Cal doesn't know who has it.
Yeah.
Nate has not told him who has the tape because Nate knows somebody, aka Maddie, took the tape from him as he was hiding it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, thoughts on episode 2?
I mean, I remember when I watched it for the first time, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you had us with that first episode. You had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. And then, like, it was like a filler episode, you know?
Yeah, it was like a huge drop from, like, the stakes of episode 1.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it wasn't terrible by any means, but it wasn't episode 1.
Yeah.
So, like, it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you can start to feel that we're like, wait, what's going on this season?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
It's kind of hard to find, like, a direction of, like, where it's gonna go, and I think that honestly kind of continued throughout the entire season. It never really like found its place of like, this is the storyline that we're following, like this is the like main issue, the root of the season.
I think there was like a lot of puzzle pieces, and a lot was going on, and for the first few episodes you're kind of expecting them all to come together at some point, and I don't think the puzzle ever really fit together just right at the end.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I mean, like, now that we're talking about it, I'm still interested to go back and re-watch it actually and see if things line up. I don't think they will, but
yeah, I'd like to watch season 1 and 2 back to back and just see, like, you know, because obviously, like, right now I didn't rewatch season 1 beforehand. I just watched like recaps. But like, if there's anything that I missed that like they completely dropped off, you know, the storyline or anything, because there's still so many problems from season 2 that like we have unresolved, but then I like want to see if there's anything from season 1 that I'm like, oh, we never like confronted that, like Kat's like sex work, we never confronted that.
There's a lot of things that kind of just drop off the face of the earth. In case you haven't noticed, McKay has been missing. He shows up in episode 1 for like 30 seconds to talk to Cassie, and we never see McKay again.
I read, I think it was like yesterday, I read that apparently that whole scene in season 1, if you watched it, when he and Cassie are like getting ready to have sex or whatever, and he's staying at the college, and basically he got hazed. It was my impression that he got raped. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that was like a big thing, but apparently that's not what it is. Like apparently they just like pretended to, and he didn't actually get raped. Because I thought that that was a big deal. Like obviously we were gonna have to continue that. Like he had trauma from that, and they never brought it up. But
Even if it wasn't like a full-on, I guess by definition, sexual assault,
it
still is
an assault,
enough.
yeah.
That also the twins are missing from
Yeah,
the
where the hell
season
did they
in their
go?
entirety. Rue's jacket is gone, by the way. Never once mentioned again.
Wait, really?
Never. They show it in funeral flashbacks.
Yeah.
Never once bring up her jacket again, nor does she wear it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which I was like, that's so weird because that was such a trademark and such a huge
Yeah.
part of the first season and the finale.
I feel
For
like they
them to
missed
just
a lot of that.
drop off the face of the earth that the jacket's missing.
Yeah.
But
I feel like we missed a lot of that this season. Like all the trademarking that they did last season completely gone this season.
the makeup.
Like all the makeup, everything.
Yeah.
Like even like Labyrinth is his score. They just
Yeah.
used a lot of the same stuff from last season, and then they got new, or not new artists, but like different artists to just make music for this season, which is like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not Euphoria, you know?
I think a lot of the things that
No.
make Euphoria such like a phenomenon,
Stand out.
I think Sam Levinson forgot about, like in the time between. I think he was like, no, they like this, and everyone's like, we don't want to see just titties and dick on our screen.
Yeah, we don't care for that.
Like we actually just want to see like the interesting makeup that had a point, to not just be like, oh, she has glitter on her eyes, but there's a point why she's wearing the makeup that she is, and her hair in the certain way, and what certain symbolism, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Whatever. But this is the second episode is definitely the turn of where are we going this season?
Yeah, really
Things
had
are
no idea
getting
where
a little confusing.
it was headed. But
A more confusing episode, we get to episode 3, which opens with a Cal Jacobs redemption arc.
that was episode 3?
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Literally, the episode opens with a flashback of Cal Jacobs in high school. We get the story of him and his friend Derek, and how they were best friends, did everything together, hung out constantly, and yeah.
They never brought Derek back up.
They never. Derek's gone.
Never did
Derek's
that.
gone. McKay's gone. The twins are gone. The jacket's gone. I don't.
They should have given Cal. I'm just gonna say it really quick. They should have given Cal like a reunion with Derek, and then what happens at the end of the season with Cal, that should have happened. So then it's like even more like gut wrenching, heartbreaking, like more tension. Anyways, sorry.
But essentially, like, it's the opening. Blah, 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 blah. Cal and Derek are graduating high school, and they're like, you know what we should do for one last night? We're going to go to a gay bar, even though we're not gay. And you're like, why would you guys know about a gay bar?
Yeah.
But moving on, basically they kiss. They're like, oh my God, wait, are we in love with each other? Cal goes to sleep, wakes up, and he's like, this is the best day ever. I'm in love with my friend Jacob. But his girlfriend
I'm gonna
calls.
go date my boyfriend.
Oh, I said Jacob. I meant Derek. I was thinking about Twilight.
You meant Jacob Elordi.
Anyway, Cal's girlfriend, Nate's mom, calls him and is like, I'm pregnant. And he's like,
yeah.
Oh, like, shit. Great.
Okay.
And then he cries. And now we get current Cal, which I don't understand. Okay, let me backtrack. I know Sam Levinson's reasoning was to show that, like, there's reasons why everyone does it. Not everyone's just, like, pure good or pure bad. Yeah. I get it. This man had sex with a minor and filmed many sexual encounters without consent, consistently cheats on his wife, abuses his children.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't need redemption arcs. You can provide reasoning without redemption.
Like, he could have done it without, like, romanticizing it, I guess.
That's
like,
the issue.
That's the whole thing. But also, I kind of like that he romanticized it, because then you feel more conflicted on, like, oh, fuck, I hate this guy, though. You know? Yeah. Where you're like, oh, like, I want to root for him so bad because he deserved it, but then, like, he went and did all these things.
The weird thing about this season
giving
is
it
I
that
feel
reasoning.
Like the consequences weren't, like, even, if that makes sense. Like,
Not
I
at
feel
all.
like I was like, yeah, we can give him reasoning and like you said, like conflict the audience. But then I was like, but why doesn't he do other bad things for me to be like, no, he sucks?
Yeah.
You know, like, it was strange.
Like, I mean, there is one point that, like, I don't know if it was real or not, and we'll probably talk about it later.
Uh-huh.
But if that's a real thing, then, like, for sure I'll be like, oh, yeah. This guy's gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
juicy. But moving on, also in this episode, Rue decides to go into a business venture, and she goes to see her friend Lori, the drug dealer teacher, where she pitches to Lori to give her $10,000 worth of drugs in a suitcase. Then Rue will, quote unquote, flip that and give her the money back by blackmailing people at her school, is her proposition she provides to Lori, just so Rue can get pretty much drugs for free.
I can't believe that was this early.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like it was like 2 episodes ago.
Right? But I
Like,
think it's because of what I'm about to say. There's no conclusion to Lori then turns to Rue and says, oh, by the way, if you don't pay me back, I have plenty of people that will hurt you. Like alluding to that she will get Rue into sex trafficking.
I'm pretty sure that she says, like, I'll sell you, or like,
So she doesn't say sex trafficking exactly, but she alludes to sex trafficking.
I swear she says something with, like, sell and sold or something.
I don't know.
But terrifying.
Rue is now high out of her goddamn mind. That is my note, is Rue is high out of her goddamn mind.
It's true.
It's facts.
She is.
You're like
Jesus high.
Christ. Yeah. Some other fun things that happen this episode. We get Cassie's Manic Makeover sequence, which is actually the name of the sequence, is the Manic Makeover sequence. Cassie decides she's going to wake up at 3 to 4 a.m. every single day and get ready for school so Nate will notice her.
Yeah.
And every episode or every day of school she comes with a new look till eventually she ends up in the same outfit as Maddie, and it's the only day Nate finally notices her.
Yeah. Girl, get some therapy.
Girl, get up. Get up.
Get up.
Please.
This is enough.
We also get another iconic scene. Lexi begins her play, and she has decided she's going to take over for the play Oklahoma that is being put on, and we're going to put on Lexi's play instead.
Yes.
All the girls at one point end up in the bathroom.
Oh.
This is, I don't know, one of the very few times we've ever actually seen all the girls hang out, to the point that I didn't know they knew each other.
They've never confirmed if, like, they were close friends or not, or, like, in the same circle. Like, they seem to be connected by people, but just, like, they never confirmed if they were ever, like, friends and hung out. You know?
Like, I knew at the end of season 1 during their dance, they all sat at the same table, but, like, at prom, I sat at a table with people I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, that means nothing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was, like, kind of like, I was like, Sam Levinson, do you know how, like, girls communicate with each other? But whatever.
No.
This is where we do get some iconic lines. And literally, like, a 5-minute scene. We get, like, hey, Ruru. We get lines like, bitch, you better be joking. We get, why are you dressed like a country music star? In a good way or a bad way? We get, in my notes, we get, yes, fuck it. I'm in love with Nate Jacobs. We get, wait, you relapsed? Yeah.
Yeah. That whole scene, you're just sitting there and you're like,
now this is the Euphoria I was missing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that had stakes.
Like, that much in, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Also, in a public bathroom at school, you guys want to do this?
Yes.
Like, yeah, I relapsed. What? Girl, the whole school's gonna hear you. That you better be quiet. Your mom is gonna find out. Like,
which I guess we'll find out later in the fucking episode. Rue really doesn't care who knows her business at this point. Okay. So honestly, this episode is like a mess, but kind of iconic. Some other things that happen. Cal decides that he's going to take the tape issue into his own hands. He believes that what happened is Fez has the tape of Jules, and that's why he beat up Nate. So he says, or decides he's going to go to Fez himself. He ends up coming in and talking to Fez, and Ashtray's like, do you want me to kill this guy for you? And Fez is like, no.
Fez, you want me to kill this guy for you?
And Fez is like, no, it's fine. But Ashtray's like, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna beat his head in with the end of a shotgun.
Ashtray's fucking terrifying. That kid is
Yeah.
12.
Literally, and all Cal does is like, I'll call the cops on you. And Ashtray's like, I'm gonna fucking beat you. And I'm
Like, in the eye. Like, full socket, like, skull.
I was like, oh
He doesn't give a
my.
fuck.
Okay, so now Cal is, his head basically is cracked open.
Yeah.
And we get some more iconic lines where Cal asks Fez if he's seen the tape of him and Jules, to which Fez responds, You and Jules?
You had sex with Jules? You recorded that shit? You didn't know you was recorded?
Perfect delivery.
That's
iconic.
Truly one of the best lines of Euphoria ever. That's
Yeah.
Sam Levinson, and that's the writing that
was
yeah,
peak. That's
it.
Peak.
You didn't know you were recorded? It's also just like the standing there. You had sex with Jules? You didn't know you were recorded?
But at the end of that, Cal basically realizes that Fez does not have the tape, and he really does have no idea who currently has the tape of him and Jules.
Which he just told this kid.
Yeah, he just told this drug dealer what happened. Drug dealer, Ashtray, and Faye is there because Faye, I guess accidentally pushed her landlord off the balcony. We haven't confirmed if the landlord's dead, whatever. So her boyfriend... Yeah, her boyfriend asked Fez to watch out for Faye and have her stay with him for the time being while he gets it all figured out.
Yeah.
Episode 3 as a whole, looking back, kind of iconic.
But like, what the fuck happened?
It's a mess, but it's kind of like, oh, we're getting back to like Euphoria.
Yeah.
Where we're like, yeah, give it to us. We had outfits again. We had makeup. We had ridiculous sequences.
Yeah.
Ruse being stupid.
It like, wait, Lexi's TV one was the second episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also believe it's this episode that Jules and Elliot and Rue all start hanging out and they make like their little trio of hell.
That didn't last very long.
That is literally the worst combination of people I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Like, it is so terrible.
They scare the fuck out of me.
They're so, like, I don't even understand how they enjoy each other's company. And they're, like, constantly, like, Rue and Jules and Elliot are, like, all trying to make each other jealous and, like, kissing each other.
And toxic, weird, fucked up, like,
yeah.
Gross.
It's a mess.
Gross.
We get to another... Okay, looking back, 3 and 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get to like a little bit of a mess, but also a stride of iconic episodes and sequences.
Okay, I'm listening.
Episode 4, it is Maddie's 18th birthday.
God damn. Yeah, that was a good episode. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait.
You're like,
that was
kind of fun.
You're right.
It's messy for sure, since this episode opens with more drunk driving, where Cal, with a head injury, is drinking some scotch because, I don't know, nobody has taken care of Cal this whole time.
I forgot that was the same episode. Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, when that happened.
I know Cal is, like, a shit person, but, like, his wife wasn't like, hey, why don't you stay in bed with your cracked open skull, and I'll just bring you food.
They kind of show that she's a shit person too. Like,
I guess, but like, nobody in the family or the hospital was like, "Hey, you should be like watched after." I don't. Whatever. Feels like a plot hole to me, but
Euphoria.
Whatever. Cal gets literally shit faced and is like, "I'm gonna go drink and drive," and end up at the bar where me and Derek made out. And Derek. It's a mess. Is like hitting on people. Literally skips over the pink print in the jukebox. Disgusting.
Yeah, that's when you know he's fucked up.
Is he really gay if he's skipping the pink print?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, you didn't want to play Nicki Minaj? Didn't he play like Sinead O'Connor or something over?
Something where I was like, okay,
all right. Obviously, Sam Levinson, you're straight.
Yeah, we got
you're
it.
Straight. You're a straight man. We get it. Yeah. He skipped the pink print.
Cal gets kicked out of the bar, not for skipping the pink print, strange, but he gets kicked out for like trying to wrestle somebody. And they let him drive home. This is a
Yeah,
plot
that would
hole.
never
I don't care what
happen.
anyone fucking says. They wouldn't let somebody that drunk drive. They'd call the
No.
cops.
Yeah, that would
They
never
wouldn't
happen.
do that. Like, I get
Also,
that
like,
they could, but they wouldn't. That's illegal.
yeah.
Whatever.
Also, I just have to say, like, even if they were to call the cops, it wouldn't change the plot line in any way, right? Because he would just go home. They would take him home.
Yes, because okay, let me just explain now.
Like,
I'm going to jump ahead, just finish out Cal's storyline. Cal drunk drives home, and hold on. I'm so angry about this. Anyway, he gets home, drunk off his ass, and is like, you know what I'm going to do? Like, piss on the floor of my house. And he's like,
you know what I'm gonna do? Piss on the floor.
oh,
Piss on the floor.
floor.
Piss on the floor.
Anyway, so his wife comes down, and she's like, Cal, put your penis away. And he goes, no. And she goes,
I am who I am.
Penis away. And he goes, I am who I am. And essentially, like, everyone comes out. Nate's there, his brother's there, mom's there, Cal's peeing on the floor. And he's like, I'm going to tell you guys this. To my wife, you are hot, but I love dick. And I want to have sex with so many people. And I do. And I love you, but, like, I love so many people, men,
like,
women,
sorry.
regardless. I love him. So basically, we confirm he's not gay, but, like, pansexual.
Like yeah, bi. They don't really
then tells
clarify.
Aaron, his other son, that he has some of the most disgusting porn he has ever seen in his life. And if you have to get Cal Jacobs to say that, I'm a little scared.
I just have to say, what's wrong with these Jacobs boys, men? Fuck?
My God.
They are disgusting.
And then Cal turns to Nate and says that, look, I've done some terrible things, but I don't regret that. But having you as a son is my greatest regret. And I was like, oh, period.
That gagged me.
Period.
Like, I literally sat there at the TV like, like,
now,
there ain't no fucking way.
I was going to save my opinion of the whole episode to the end, but I'm going to say it now. Cal should have died driving home. That's the end of it. He should have died and never had the opportunity to say all this stuff. Or maybe we get a voiceover or something, but he should have died. 1000% should have died in that moment.
Hear me out. Maybe he says that, right? And he leaves and then he dies.
Yeah. Like he needed
something.
Cal should have died this episode. Hands down. There's no argument to be made there.
Like, can you imagine how, like, again, if there's tension because of his plot line in the beginning of his story, right? You wrap it up with him dying in that same episode, it would have tugged on your heartstrings a little bit. Then you'd have been like, oh,
like he never got to see Derek again. He never got
to do it.
But
then
also,
that, would have
like,
given
he drunk drove and there was no consequence to the things that he did.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes the only person in the show that ever has to face a consequence is Rue, and that's fucked. Because they're all terrible fucking people.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point.
But talking about Rue, let's get over to some Rue storyline. Her, Elliot, and Jules are hanging out. Her and Elliot are secretly doing drugs in the bathroom that Jules never notices, that they are literally snorting cocaine in the bathroom as they're all hanging out 10 feet away. I have
to wonder, is Jules a fucking idiot? Like, I have to wonder.
My God.
Especially if she knows that Rue is, like, has problems with drugs and, like, acts this way because she's been around her while she's high. How, like, genuinely, is she fucking stupid?
Possibly, because then this bitch and Elliot are like, we should go steal alcohol while we're hanging out with her friend, who, at least to Jules, is a recovering addict.
Abuse. Yeah.
Fuck Jules.
Yeah.
Like, if it was not obvious in that moment, fuck Jules. Fuck Jules. I don't care if you're like, I want to drink. First of all, you're a minor. Second of all, robbery. Third of all, your girlfriend is a recovering addict.
Yeah. I've been saying this, like, genuinely, all of these kids, like, what kind of friends are they if they know that their friend is a recovering addict from substance abuse and they all party anyways? Also, let me just wrap it back to New Year's really fast. Who saw her at the party and was like, hey, should she be here?
This is what I'm talking about.
Like, can we just all hang out? Like, maybe just watch a movie or something, you know? Like, maybe just take one for the team.
literally episode 3 when all of a sudden they're all friends. I'm like, wait, they were all friends and they all saw Rue at the New Year's party and didn't do shit. They're not friends. They might be like, we know each other. We run in the same circles.
Colleagues, if you will.
Yeah, but they're not friends. Not to the point that Cassie would have a nickname or that like they would all know about Rue. Like they're not. See,
Cassie and the nickname makes sense to me. The rest of it does not.
Yeah, where I was like, they can't be friends because of all the other shit we've seen happen.
Yeah.
So make it make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they get alcohol. They rob a store. For no
fucking reason.
Because Fez owns I can't.
Why on earth are they robbing a convenience store if their friend owns one? He's not gonna card you.
The plot holes in this episode alone is too much.
Yeah.
Before I finish up this one, we got to jump back to Maddie's birthday. We open up with Cassie gives Maddie a scrapbook of their friendship.
Oh,
what a bitch.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like,
what
you're doing this to her and then you like give her that.
Yeah. As like, Cassie's waiting all night for Nate to show up. She's drinking. She's
special guest, I guess.
She's drinking all night, literally getting wasted off her ass, like in anticipation for Nate to show up to the party.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a great time. It gets like there is like a 5-minute sequence of Cassie just dancing in like balloons with alcohol for no reason.
Like drunk.
Like so much time is spent on showing us that Cassie's drunk with.
Well, I know that they do that because it's the like what's it called? Not
parallel.
The parallel of Cal and her because they're pretty much doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just a lot of time.
It's a lot.
Just showing them dancing drunk.
Yeah,
whereas like I
really
got it.
Happen. We're like we understand they're drunk. Yeah, we get it. But
yeah. Then we get some more iconic sequences where everybody ends up in the hot tub. Nate shows up. Cass in the hot tub. Kat's in the hot tub. Maddie's in the hot tub. Lexi's in the hot tub. Everybody's in the hot tub. Just talking about stuff. Yeah. Oh, BB's there. The queen.
BB, Queen Vape Girl. We didn't get enough of her. Again.
No.
I'm so fucking
Where's
pissed.
the BB episode?
Yeah, I want her breakdown.
Season 3.
Praying season 3 is BB's season.
But then BB asks Nate and Maddie, "Oh, are you guys like back together?" And Maddie goes, "No." And Nate goes, "Yeah, no." And Maddie goes, "Wait, I was gonna say no, but why are you saying no?"
I love her.
And Cassie's like, "Wait, you guys aren't back together?" Knowing goddamn well her and Nate have been having sex since New Year's consistently every Friday. How do we know this? Because Cassie ran into Nate's truck as Rue rode by on her bike and saw them together.
She said, that's weird.
She went, weird connection, but this is a tool that we can save for later.
Yeah.
Well, put that in my back pocket.
I think it was the episode before, like the ending of the episode before. I'm pretty sure it was Nate showing up to Maddie's with like flowers and like insinuating that he wanted her back while he was doing all this with Cassie as well. So yeah.
But essentially, Maddie goes on a rant about how Nate is always trying to get her back and
He's such a fucking cunt.
And wants her to move in with him and have her babies, to which Cassie violently vomits into the bathtub after hearing that.
You mean the hot tub?
Oh yeah, the hot tub. And the whole night's a mess. Cassie is the definition of crying, screaming, throwing up.
She's the sloppiest drunk.
But like
messiest. Just
when I say crying, screaming, throwing up, think of Cassie in this episode.
Yeah. Please. That picture of her crying on the staircase. She's like,
that's it.
Also, I just have to say Maddie's a good friend because Cassie threw up in that hot tub and Maddie literally, she was like, I'm so sorry. Maddie's like, it's okay. It's okay. Even though she's grossed out, obviously, she's just saying, it's okay. Like, don't worry. It's okay.
And it's her birthday.
And it's her birthday. Like, come on.
We also get like 2 seconds of Kat being like, I'm bored of Ethan. And that's all we get of Kat.
Yeah. It's so fucked up.
Jumping back to Rue and Jules and Elliot, after they steal the alcohol, they get White Claws. Of all alcohol, they're like, we should get White Claws.
Really, you wanted to get fucked up and you got White Claws? Like
Got
one
like
case of White Claws?
a 6-pack of White Claws, and there's 3 of them. Whatever.
You don't want to get like a bottle or something?
Okay. Back on my fuck Jules hate train. Jules then puts the alcohol in the back seat with Rue.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? And then when Rue takes one, Jules like, you're drinking?
Yeah.
You just handed them to her.
Yeah. It's like giving a little kid a piece of candy.
Yeah.
They're gonna take it. Like, hello.
Make it make sense. Anyway, Rue is on a combination of drugs, to which Elliot finally has to be like, hey, you can't drink while you're high. And Jules is like, wait, what? And Rue is like, you know what? Fuck you both. I hate you. Leave me on the side of the road. And they do.
Well, she tells Jules, this was the kicker. It was why? Because I can't fucking stand you. Let me out of the damn car.
I said, me too.
I was like,
me too.
I like really was just like, the ending of that whole episode, I just was like, ding, ding,
literally,
ding, ding.
They my notes say dump her on the side of the road, and then Rue goes to see God, aka Labyrinth.
Yes, that sequence was very scary. Everyone thought that she OD'd because she did a lot of drugs from the suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a whole sequence of her in a church, and Jules is there, Elliot's there, the Labyrinth is there singing, and it's like basically insinuating that she's dying. Like it was a very
she's
heavenly.
Seeing her dad again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that song in general, just like, wow.
Incredible.
It made me cry.
That was where we're like, oh, we got a little Euphoria again.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I missed this.
Yeah.
Rue has to suffer for it to be Euphoria. You know? Like
if Rue's not suffering, it's not Euphoria.
It's not Euphoria.
I know
That's
what you're
just
talking
not
about.
it. Yeah.
So all in all, I mean, the episode was kind of fun.
That was a really good episode, actually.
It was okay. Like, we're getting a little better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I was still like, these are character traits or character, I don't even know what sentence I'm trying to say, but like things that the characters wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like things where I was like, why would they dump Rue on the side of the road and let her walk home? Elliot knowing how high she is.
And like on the side of the freeway.
Yeah, like things where I was like, I don't care what Rue could have said to me if I was in Jules' shoes. She could have said the worst things. I still would have been like, yeah, we're going to drive you home though, because I don't want you dead.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, we'll drop you off at home.
And then I'll never speak to you again. But like, I'm going to make sure you at least get to your house.
Also, my mom, I remember like after we both watched the episode, she was like, I really thought that Cal was going to hit them, like that they were going to be driving on the same highway, because they kept flashing back and forth between them. And that was probably the point to make you think that. But like, that would have been a good, like, climax of the episode, like something that they were on the same highway and Elliot was high off of his ass and Cal was drunk off his ass, and they would have,
there was like a lot of like build for this episode for the climax to be a slow song. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I get it, but yeah, like there should have been something else that happened, but I know why they left it for that song with Rue, because we hadn't really gotten that yet.
Like there was such a build and so much anxiety and so much there till we get to this point where you're just like, wow, that was like really sad, but I didn't feel like I got the like satisfaction of everything that built up.
Yeah.
The satisfaction, the most we got was Cassie's meltdown.
I feel like not even Cassie's meltdown gave me satisfaction. I feel like it was Cal at the house, like walking out on the family and just being awful. That was kind of it. He
still should have died.
Yeah. I will say, like, no. I was going to say throughout the whole season, like, this was the episode where I was like, I need to see next week.
Mm-hmm.
Because that wasn't it, but it was, like, close. Because I thought that Rue was dead.
Yeah.
Like, I was convinced that Rue was dead. So. Yeah.
Which then we get to episode 5, which I think honestly could be the best episode of the entire season.
It was crazy. Also, this was the first night we went to a Euphoria viewing party.
Yeah. That was
What
exciting.
an episode for a viewing party, let me tell you.
The title of this
Wow.
episode that I put in my notes is Rue's running and ruining everything.
Rue's running and ruining
Rue's
everything.
are running and ruining everything. So we open this episode has like a very clear focus and it's not jumping around to different plot lines.
No.
The same way that we have before. Like we're kind of focused on Rue the entire time. We open up with somewhat of an intervention with Rue and her mom and Gia, where Rue's mom has taken the suitcase of drugs from Rue. And Rue, as I put in my notes, turns into the Hulk and is just destroying physically destroying everything in her path, literally breaking doors down to shreds trying to find this suitcase. Is going on. You thought last season when she tried to kill her mom with a piece of glass was bad?
No.
This girl,
she's busting down doors, just kicking down doors and like throwing furniture, throwing lamps, like fully that house. I was like, imagine.
Traumatizing her sister and her mom, saying some of like the most horrific things I've heard.
Awful. I will say too, we forgot to mention that previously I believe they showed Rue telling Gia that she wants to start smoking weed because it's the only way that like she's not going to kill herself.
Fully manipulating, like admitting to fully manipulating her sister.
Yeah, just saying that like it's what's stopping her from having panic attacks constantly and that like that's what stops her from killing herself. So from this point on, Gia thinks that Rue is smoking weed.
Just only smoking weed.
Yeah.
But just traumatizing. Zendaya's acting is the Emmy. This is the Emmy episode. This like, is the episode honestly, the scenes are going to show for her nomination.
Yeah, and before this, I was thinking like, you know what? Like Zendaya's not really like, I wasn't feeling it, you know, with her this whole season, and I feel like they almost didn't give her the scene or the episode to act, you know, the way that she got to the first season, and this is like where it comes out.
Yeah, like you know how last season was
like, give her the Emmy.
Last season it was the episode or the scene outside Fez's door.
Yeah,
where you're like,
it's just she has to have a breakdown.
Up. I know, poor Rue.
Like
Rue,
she just has to have a breakdown and like throw shit and bang on shit and yell and just tell people that they're terrible people, and that'll give Zendaya the Emmy, and that's fine.
I'm okay with that.
That's fine. Like this is gonna be the clip that they're gonna show at the Emmys.
Yeah. Speaking of Rue telling people they're awful. Then we find out Jules and Elliot have been sitting in the other room of the house the entire time because it was Jules that told her mom that Rue was on drugs.
But let me just say that, what did she say? Was she the one who was like, we flushed them?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just Rue and her mom screaming at each other for like 10 minutes, right? And she's like, where the fuck are my drugs? Like, where the fuck is the suitcase? Like, we need the suitcase. And then you just hear from the other room, Jules say, we flushed them down the toilet.
The scream
silence, bitch,
that we let out. I was like, oh, she did it. No, she didn't.
Like
the look on like Rue's face in that moment.
Like she realizes that like she has had someone in there listening to everything that she's been saying to these two people, and seeing her act this way, like it was so jaw-dropping. Like fully we sat there in shock. Like I was like, oh. Like honestly, I'm getting chills right now thinking about that moment because like that was one of those.
When I tell you this is the Emmy episode, this is the Emmy episode. Rue then turns and she's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna back down. I thought she was gonna back down and be like, oh, Jules, I love you. No, she's like, you know what, Jules? Fuck you. I hate you with everything in me. You're dead to me. And I was like,
yeah. And then she says like, oh, Jules keeps saying, like, I love you. Like, I did this because I love you. And she said, no, you don't love me. And I don't love you. You love being loved. That. My God. The whole, like, I just remember us in that room watching it, and we went, oh. Shit. Oh.
Then my favorite line, or second favorite line of the episode, she goes to Elliot because Elliot clearly was one who had to tell Jules, so Jules could tell her mom. Jules could tell mom. And she tells Elliot he's a lying fucking snake and smacks him.
Fuck you.
And for some reason, I feel like the smack is improv. It feels improv.
Snake. Fuck you. Like on the forehead too, just like
not a cross. It's like it is.
That's so funny to me.
But now, Rue agrees to go to the hospital to help her with her withdrawal. Now that she's like, oh, fuck Jules. And I was like, oh, yeah. Honestly, fuck Jules.
She's like, got that out of my system.
Woo! Now I can finally be clean.
Yeah.
So her mom and her sister are driving her to the hospital. Elliot's like,
smoking in front of the house, like.
And then on their way there, the mom's like, yeah, you're gonna do so well in rehab. And Rue's like, rehab? No, we're going to the hospital.
This is the hospital.
And her mom's like, no, it's the same thing. And Rue's like, I can't do this. Jumps out the car and just
in the middle of traffic. She's like, no, we were going to the ER. Like, I was just getting help with my withdrawal. Like, I'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
She's like, no. Rehab is what you need, baby. It's rehab.
Yeah. And poor Gia is like,
screaming for her life.
Literally, like, how could this get worse? But wait, because it does. Rue ends up
Euphoria.
At Lexi's.
It always gets worse.
Of course. Rue ends up at Lexi's because Lexi's her BFF, obviously. And she's like, Lexi, can I use your bathroom? Because Rue is like, I think having kidney failure is what's going on.
They pretty much just keep like showing her like robbing for her kidney, and she had like a kidney problem the first season too, so it's kind of alluding to it. But
actually, I'm skipping ahead. She also goes to Fez's, and she breaks into a house before she gets to Lexi's. So she goes to Fez's and is like, "Hey, can I use your bathroom?" And he's like, "I guess." Where she actually goes and tries to steal drugs from Fez's grandma, as she's like trying to use her prescription medication, and Fez is like, "Rue." Nah, it's the principal, Rue. And Rue's like, no, Fez. And then just was like, fuck you, pushes him. And Fez is like, oh, no.
Fuck that.
And throws that bitch around. Rue went from the Hulk to like a rag doll.
Well, this is what she deserved, to be quite
100%.
Honest. I'm so glad he did 100%. I've been waiting.
Kicked her ass.
Yeah. Like, I've never seen Fez get upset like that. As if I didn't watch him beat Nate Jacobs' face in,
literally throws her out. And I say literally as in like
he chucked her.
Like, I don't have anything to throw to,
right?
Like threw that bitch. Then she ends up breaking to some rich family's house,
which there's no consequences for this.
No, she's literally like broken. Stole jewelry. You see her like consistently stealing jewelry, as somebody who's an addict might do, so they can pay off their debts or pay for more drugs. After all this, she ends up at Lexi's and is like, can I use the bathroom? And who's there but literally everybody? Maddie's there, and she's like, Rue, gives her a hug. Cassie's there.
It's so cute. I was like,
again, they're friends. Why are you hugging her? You literally, okay. I just am confused.
Maybe Maddie's
on
just
their
a really sweet person. Who knows?
And no, she's not. But she's not. Let's be clear. I'm just confused on what everyone's relationship is to each other. Whatever.
Yeah.
So they're all there. Rue goes upstairs, but before that, she talks to Suze, Mom of the Year. And Suze is like,
queen.
Rue, you don't look that well. You look kind of sick. How are you? And she's like, I have to use the bathroom. And Suze is talking, like, just trying to make conversation. Rue goes upstairs, and Suze is like, she is not good.
Well, no, remember before she goes upstairs, she goes, well, you look great, honey. And she goes upstairs. She does not look good.
She's not doing well.
She's not doing well.
Rue goes upstairs, continues to steal jewelry, to come downstairs, only to find out Sue has called Rue's mom. And she's now here to pick Rue up from her play date.
Yeah, the play date.
Rue is like, I'm not going. And everyone's
I
like,
hate to be that person, but like, I'm really not fucking leaving.
Everyone's like, you should probably go. And Rue is like, I'm so excited to talk about this next part. Rue's like, I can't do it. Like, I can't go and get clean. I can't. And Cassie, in my favorite line, in my number one favorite line of the season, goes, that's okay, Rue. You don't have to. Just take it one day at a time. And then Rue says my third favorite line of the season.
Third?
Because Cassie to me is
every damn day.
It's true, but Cassie's is funny because after she said that, she turns to Maddie and Maddie goes, yeah, thumbs up. Yeah. I can't. They're so proud of themselves in that moment.
I know.
Where then Rue turns around and says, my third favorite, but most iconic line of this entire season. Yeah.
Hey, Cass.
Hey, Cass, quick question. How long have you been fucking Nate Jacobs?
Nate Jacobs.
Life moved in slow motion in that moment.
The world stopped turning.
Beyonce said, world stop, and it stopped.
It stopped. Like, when I tell you, the government shut down, people shot, like,
stock market crashed. The world like, stopped turning. It was
literally
over.
Just
like it was that moment where you're like, it happened.
Yeah, you're like,
the news is out.
And you're like, yes, it happened.
And it was Rue to do it. How does Rue know?
Who I didn't expect.
Because she saw them in the truck.
Get in the truck,
and you were like,
kissing.
Oh, the puzzle pieces are kind of coming together. Yeah. And Maddie went, what? And Cassie went, why would we listen to her? She's a crackhead.
Yeah. She's like, guys, no, like, don't believe her. She's on drugs. Like,
and this is where, if you are unfamiliar and you're just listening to like kind of get an idea of the show, where we get some of the iconic TikTok audios like, Rue? When was this? You dumb fucking bitch.
I'm gonna fuck you up. Yeah.
It's
delicious.
So good. Amazing. In the chaos of it all, Rue ends up escaping the house.
Because everyone's so
caught up in the Cassie Maddie drama, which, me too.
Yeah. We all waited weeks after this because we were like, hello.
At this point, over a month.
Like,
give it to us.
We needed it.
Rue's now back on the run. We leave them at the house. We don't know what's going on there. Rue's back on the run. Almost has like a slapstick Three Stooges montage running through different backyards and just destroying
the cops find
them.
her. Yeah. That's why she's running through, is basically because the cops see that she's sick. She's not going to let them know that she's on drugs. And so she's running.
Yeah. And it ends that she goes to Lori's and is like, Lori, let me in. Because, you know, she's like suffering as Rue has to do. And Lori's like, hey, Rue, you don't look that well.
She's like, I'm not doing great.
Yeah. And Rue's like, hey, here's some of the stuff. It's not all in cash. It's in jewelry and money that I stole. And, but I don't have all of it, but I'll get more of it. And Lori's like, Rue, you know you have to pay me in cash in full. And Rue's like, I'll get the money soon. And Lori's like, you don't look like somebody that's going to have the money soon. And I was like, oh, she's about to die tonight.
Well, she also says, like, I knew that you were an addict when you came to me.
Yeah. So this girl set it up.
She then asks Rue, like, what do you do? And she said, like, pills. Like, I don't do anything, like, intravenous, like, nothing like that. Like, only pills.
Yeah.
And Lori's like, oh, I wish I had some to help you out. Because technically when you're going through withdrawal, they're supposed to give you, like, a little something.
Like
just
microdoses.
Just to, like, so that your system doesn't completely go out of whack. And what does Lori do when she's giving Rue a bath? She's literally undressing Rue and giving Rue a bath. She literally gives her what we can assume was, like, heroin or morphine, like something like really, really
something in
hard
the bloodstream.
hitting.
Yeah.
And they show her like poking and everything. So then she's getting Rue hooked on even harder shit.
Yeah. As Rue does ask for it. So this is not like a technically unconsensual drugging. Rue does ask and consent that she wants this now because she's in so much pain.
Yeah.
She ends up staying the night at the house and has to break out because she will literally be sex trafficked if she has to stay there.
Yeah. Oh, also, they show Lori's suitcase and she did have all the pills. So, she lied.
Oh, that.
Yes, she lied. She had a full supply of pills and was trying to get Rue even.
I thought you meant the suitcase deeper. That Rue had, and I was like, Rue never used the pills.
No. They basically just showed like, no, she had him.
Yeah, she had him.
She just wanted to hook her a little deeper and further in. Yeah.
So,
As a drug dealer
Rue
would.
escapes, and the episode ends, but we don't know if Rue actually made it home. We just know somebody walked into her house.
Yeah.
And that's it. This episode was the Emmy episode, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
This is
It
like the
definitely
one
was.
where, like, how do I put this? That, like, the Fez storyline, Euphoria doesn't need the Fez storyline.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, like, all the stakes in this episode, the hard ones or the big ones of Rue's literally life is at stake, sexual, all those are still feel like they're intense, and the Maddie and Cassie drama I feel equally as intense. Where,
Yes.
as you'll notice, like in the episodes about Cal and Fez, for some reason their stakes and their issues don't feel as intense as these two.
Yeah.
So this episode I feel like hit all the marks it needed to, and like it felt like as high stakes as season 1 felt.
It felt like Euphoria.
Yeah.
Like what you expect of Euphoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like that season 2 feeling of like we're still missing the makeup and like the glamour of it, but we're still getting what I feel like Euphoria was supposed to be about.
Yeah. Oh, I also have to say, they show Rue when she wakes up and she has multiple injection bruises and spots on her elbow, which shows that Lori was in fact poking her multiple times and giving her more and more of the drugs that she so badly did not need. Because she definitely got it the first time. They showed it, so yeah.
It was a lot. I didn't watch that sequence. I closed my eyes.
Yeah. There was a rumor because so Lori has a ton of parrots and birds, and everyone was like, why does she have parrots? And I had a theory that basically if the birds are in there, and you know, a lot of parrots can learn English and repeat things back. If they hear someone saying something or whatever, they can learn it and repeat it back. That was my theory. But I also heard that apparently, you know, they showed that she had a room with a lock on it, and people said that there were noises coming from that. I didn't hear anything, but people on Twitter, I think it was, they thought that these birds were there to cover up the noise because they obviously like make a lot of noise and they're pretty loud. So
interesting.
Yeah. Especially if she's involved with trafficking.
Yeah.
Then that would make some sense. But
if I'm being honest, I think Sam Levinson, based on everything that we've seen in the last few seasons, doesn't think like that. I think he went, you know, it'd be kind of cool if she had parrots.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a funny juxtaposition.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Like, I think a lot of the time we think, like, Sam Levinson is like, this is actually, like, and this ties into that, and then this represents, and I'm like, I don't think he honestly thinks like that. I think because he is the sole writer, he has nobody else being like, hey, you should, instead of parrots, do this bird because it means da-da-da-da. He has nobody else doing that for him. So I think he's just like, parrots are cool.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's funny that she wants her house to look like tropical and like a zoo.
Yeah.
And she's
also like not like a guard dog. Like she has like birds,
parrots. Like I think he's like, that's funny. Yeah. Honestly.
I wouldn't put it past him. But.
Yeah. Then we get to episode 6, where at the beginning of this episode, Rue is officially, quote unquote, officially dumping drugs. And I mean that as in she's quitting officially, trying to right her wrong. She apologizes to Ali, who back in episode 3, she was a little bitch to.
She was really bad too.
Yeah, and was just like horrible to him. Apologized to him, and he's like, it's cool.
I love him.
Literally, he's like, I get it. Like, I was a drug addict. We all have to find our forgiveness.
He's also one of the best characters on this show.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. He comes over for dinner, hangs out with the family. Do Ollie and Rue's mom have crushes on each other?
I think so.
I hope
Maybe
so.
A little.
I hope
Maybe
so. That would be problematic for Rue, but I like this. I'm into this. Yeah. We also find out. Yeah, we also found out Gia's like, I don't trust Rue. She'll probably do drugs again. I have no hope in her. And Ollie's like, yeah, well, that's Rue's problem to figure out. It's not yours. Like, you need to focus on yourself and feel the love you deserve. And I was like, yeah, period.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right, because no one's literally thinking about Gia.
Poor Gia.
Like,
is
she's
suffering just as much as Rue. Yeah. Also lost her dad.
And is younger, and no one's paying attention to her problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor thing. It's really sad.
We also get Cassie's meltdown, where now everybody knows what she's done. And she's like, you guys don't get it. They weren't boyfriend and girlfriend, which something about the way she says that line is really funny to me.
Yeah.
She goes, they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. It's very funny. And her mom's like, I'm just trying to point at the principal. And Cassie's like, what principal? And Susan's like, the don't fuck your best friend's boyfriend principal.
She went, they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. And then iconic. This might be my favorite line of the season. My God, she needs a fucking exorcism. This is when Suze hits icon status.
All Suze wants to do was watch her Millionaire Matchmaker.
Literally, just let her.
They're literally hiding knives in the house from Cassie. Cassie tries to cut her wrist with a corkscrew.
Yeah.
We also find out from Lexi, she's been talking to Fez the whole time. We clearly know there's a Fexy thing going on.
I love it.
Yeah.
We didn't get any Fexy content until
literally
now.
Just so you know, the amount of edits and fan cams that are made of Fexy from a 2-minute scene in the first episode lasted all the way till now.
Yeah.
This ship has been riding the waves.
It's been sailing.
Been working their asses off on this one. But basically Lexi is like, I can't believe you would be having sex with a guy who literally talks shit about you. And Cassie's like, what? And she's like, yeah, he's so mean to you. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then Lexi realizes this is why back in episode 3, Cassie was the one who told Cal that it was Fez that beat up Nate because Cassie was in love with Nate.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, well, we knew she was a little fake bitch, but now everybody else knows as well.
Yeah.
On to the Nate storyline. Cal's gone, and everyone's like doing bad, but doing good. Like
they're doing fine on Cal's part, but just struggling with coping themselves.
Drunk, like cooking all day, but she's not like sad about it. She literally was like, I'm going to bed when he was like talking to everyone.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done. Nate's like living his best life. He's like, this is the best day of my life. I am so excited. His brother's like, this kind of sucks, but
he's
whatever,
like, don't you miss Dad?
Nate's
hello.
like, no.
He went, I'll miss him.
Maybe if he played the pink print, I would.
Yeah. Maybe if he picked Pills and Potions and not Sinead O'Connor.
Literally, how was Pills and Potion not on the Euphoria soundtrack?
That literally would have been perfect. For that scene, there was an edit. I retweeted it. It was just they put Pills and Potions over it and it fit perfectly. I know that they did Sinead O'Connor because that was it came out around the same time when he was in high school and it's supposed to be in it. I don't care. Put Nicki Minaj in Euphoria.
She should
How
still
long
be
do I
on
have to
this.
beg?
Please.
How long? Anyway, moving on.
Nate decides he's going to take over for the family business, but now he's got some shit to take care of because nobody's going to want to work with somebody who had sex with a child. Yeah. So Nate goes to Maddie with a loaded gun, and essentially there's a torture porn scene where he is holding a gun to his head while laying on top of Maddie, threatening her until she gives up the location of the CD, of the tape, which was in her purse, which I think we've talked about this maybe a couple episodes ago, what that scene was originally supposed to be, which is why this scene makes me so angry now. You can go back and listen because I don't know if we have time to get into all that, but Nate ends up getting the CD and poor Maddie is fucking traumatized.
She had a gun to her head. He was pretty much playing Russian roulette with her until she would tell him where this.
Yeah, not just to her head, to his head as he laid on top of her.
Yeah.
In her house, which she broke into.
Yeah.
Where are the consequences for Nate? Literally,
I don't know.
What is going on? Nate is such a piece of shit.
There was a theory because in Maddie's room she has one of those signs that say smile, you're on camera, and I don't think she would have a camera in her room, but a lot of people were saying oh my God, what if this was recorded? And he's gonna it's gonna come back to him eventually. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
yeah,
because Nate doesn't ever face consequences for anything, so
literally nothing. I could see sure how that theory would make sense, but again, we're talking Sam Levinson here, and I think he put it up because he thought it would be oh, what an interesting shot that like she's literally having a gun pointed at her with a sign saying smile next to her.
Yeah.
Like that feels more like, yeah.
I agree.
So Nate then takes the tape and goes to Jules, and in character but also not really in character, gives her the tape back to be nice.
I don't believe it.
For literally, they don't give us any other ulterior motive other than just to right the wrong of like Jules should have this tape because it's of her.
I personally think, since Nate's a little gay, I think he was. No, I think he was like genuinely in love with Jules, or like really actually had feelings for her as well. And I do also think that he has an ulterior motive, because that is child pornography. Anyway, you look at it, and even if you have child pornography, if it is yours, it is still child pornography. And I do believe that that's the ulterior motive. Just in case if she ever does anything or pulls anything, he can call the cops and be like, hey, guess what she has?
I guess. I mean, I don't know if he's gay because he's in love with Jules. We haven't seen him like.
Yeah, but they like also allude to lots of things. I don't know.
But I guess like I do 100% believe that Nate has like actual true feelings for Jules, but
Yes.
would never be able to be with her.
No.
Like I
don't think
like,
he can like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. That's a whole other discussion, especially because we have a whole season to wrap up.
Keep going. Yeah.
So anyway, he does that. Then he goes to Cassie's where he picks her up and she moves in with him for the rest of the season. Cassie, get up.
Girl,
this is embarrassing.
Girl, go to hell.
Get
like
up, girl.
This is just awful.
I it's such a mess. Also this episode, Phase X shows up at Fez's and is like, Faye, come outside. And she's like, what? And he's like, listen, I'm working with the cops so that I don't go to jail, but we're going to turn Fez in, and I'm going to have a wire, we're gonna blah, 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 blah. They come up with this plan. Ashtray leaves the room, like doesn't know this is happening. If Ashtray knew, we would have a very different finale. Let's just say that. Yeah. But, so now we at the audience, Faye and Faye's boyfriend now know what's going on in Fez's storyline.
Mm-hmm. But Fez doesn't know.
Fez doesn't know, and Ashtray doesn't know. That's important. And the episode ends.
On to the next.
On to the next one, because I guess we've like already gone over really how we feel about this episode. I kind of like meh about this one.
It's like fine.
I feel like after episode 5, I was like, ugh, another letdown episode.
Yeah, it felt like another filler, and I was like,
That's the thing is after like episode 1, episode 2, you're like, oh. After episode 5, episode 6 went, you know what I mean?
I feel like the only part of episode 6, which is like awful, that felt like it was like high stakes and tension, was the scene with Nate and Maddie.
Yeah.
That was really it. And like, that's so awful that like that had to be the reason why like the episode was fine, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think the problem is like they're having a hard time in this season riding a wave of like what is good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was what I'm trying to say. Like they can't stay on like that was really good and get better. Like they have to dip for a bit and then build back up to good and then dip. And
like they want to just build tensions and then like release them and then build them back up, and where you're like, oh my god, what's next week gonna be? And then it's like nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
it's tough.
Come on, guys, please do something.
But on to the third best episode of the season.
Without a doubt.
Episode 7. It is finally, we've waited 2 seasons for this, a Lexi episode.
Yeah.
Dedicated to the queen herself, Lexi. Not only that, it is her play, the premiere of Our Lives, Lexi's play.
Our Lives.
First and foremost, the budget. The budget, not just the play got, this episode got.
Yeah.
Insanity.
I want to know how much they had in a budget for a high school theater production.
Not to be a nerd, but like, they had a lot of like screens and like a curtain screen I think is what you call. And just like from what I've learned in theater, just those screens alone are so much money. And the amount of them. I know they did it for cinematography, but I was like, there is no way in school, most Broadway, or not just in school, but Broadway productions can afford that many things.
Yeah.
Like stuff where I was like, where is that fitting behind the stage?
They really were like, you know what? Our audience can be a little dumb. Let's just like, you know.
I know Sam Levinson did say that his version of this story is that what we see isn't necessarily what's actually on stage, but what everyone's interpreting is on stage. So maybe scenes which are like word for word reenactments of scenes from season 1 aren't really what the play is, but it's what everybody in the audience is interpreting as the play.
Okay.
So like, whereas like maybe like the scene of like fake Maddie and fake Nate isn't like word for word reenactment of the scene that we saw of them in season 1, but Maddie was like, oh, that's definitely supposed to be that moment. So we see it as that moment.
Yeah.
Which clears up the budget issue, I guess. Another really quick thing I just want to say about this episode, which I don't think got enough praise or notice, is that all of the crew of the play had Euphoria style makeup on. Like they had like the holographic sticker liner or like glitter liner or something, where I was like, it's so cute.
They went to Euphoria High.
That were like working on the play of season 1 got to like represent the makeup of what season 1 looked like.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
Because they went to Euphoria High.
Euphoria High School. East High.
That's why.
So going back to Fez's storyline now, Faye is ironing out Fez's suit because he's getting ready to go sit front row at Lexi's play. We find out they've been talking for literally months, like every single day, phone calls. He is like, "Shawty, I'll be in the front row," and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna save you the best seat." Yeah, where Lexi talks about how she's worried the play's gonna offend people, and Fez is like, "That's a quandary," and I was like, "How? What is this kid's vocabulary?" And then he's like, some people need to get their feelings hurt. And I was like, oh, that's a tattoo right there.
Yeah. Some people need to get their feelings hurt. Right here, baby.
Across the chest.
Yeah.
We have another embarrassing scene of Cassie. Before we get to some of the most, this one is like, I was like, girl, please.
She
is
the bar is in
Nate's,
hell.
And she's like, I like don't even want to repeat the things she says. It's not inappropriate, but I'm like, ew, I don't even want that to come out of my mouth. She's like, Nate, you get to control what I wear, who I talk to, what I eat. Like, I will literally do anything you tell me to. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's just the most abusive, toxic.
Girl, get up. Please.
You know what? The bar's not even hell. She's in hell.
It's a mess. And Nate's like, aren't you worried what people are going to think about you? And she's like, at least I'm loved. I get daddy issues, but this girl needs mental help.
That is a problem.
Anyway, so everyone's here at the play. Everyone's like, yay, we're here to support Lexi, which I can get into how that makes no sense why everyone's there. It makes no sense why Cassie and Nate went to the play. Nobody can convince
me. With Lexi and the mom.
Nobody can convince me that it makes sense why Nate's there. Nobody. Yeah. There's literally no reason why Nate would show up. And furthermore, there's no reason why Cassie would go. But whatever. Everybody else I can excuse. Those two, I don't know why they're there.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Whatever. They're there. Ethan is the lead in this play. After him and Kat broke up 2 episodes back, which is, again, literally the end of Kat's storyline. She lies to him and is like, I have a terminal brain disorder, and, like, tries to manipulate him into dumping her.
Yeah. Like, she will not break up with him, but she's like, you need to, like, break up with me, essentially.
It's an awful scene.
Making such an obvious lie that he's like, I don't want to be with someone who would say this to me, so I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah. It's an awful scene. It's
awful.
Kat
and sucks. It ruins her character.
Literally, it's
The thing is, it's not her fault. It's Sam Levinson's fault, and I blame him.
I don't blame the fictional character that does not exist.
No. Sam, I blame you.
But Kat's here watching Ethan in the play, like, it's so good. He is playing literally Lexi's dad. Everyone. He's playing Lexi's mom. He's playing everybody.
Suze!
Everybody.
Suze at this play.
Suze is having the time of her life. She is like, this is the best play I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Laughing.
Is living for it. She's watching her daughter get just like brutalized on this stage and bullied in front of everyone. And it's like,
she's like, yeah.
That is art.
She's me as a mom.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Rue's there. And this is what I meant like 30 minutes ago when I said Rue clearly doesn't care who knows her business. Because Lexi is airing out everybody's
all
dirty.
Of it.
Like, she has detailed what Rue's father's funeral was like, and the poems and the stories that Rue said, and the speech at the funeral. And Rue's like, okay.
Bad.
I was like,
yeah.
Wait, Rue, you're okay with her putting your father's funeral on stage?
It's also like everyone else in the like audience when it happens, and they're just kind of like,
oh, that's you? Okay.
Damn.
As expected, the play is essentially the story of season 1, literally reenacting scenes from season 1 in moments. And we have like our faux Maddie, faux Cat, faux Cassie, faux Nate all on stage. Alexi's playing herself.
I literally was gonna be like, faux Maddie, fatty, faux Cat, fat.
Fatty.
Fatty. Fat.
Fatty.
Like, come on.
And we get to probably the scene that you saw on Twitter if you didn't watch the show is Ethan's musical number of Holding Out for a Hero.
Yes.
Where he's playing like Nate, or I think like his
Nate.
character's called Jake, but it's like it's Nate. And they're like, okay, babe, you got to get out of here. The boys got to work out. And it's a football team, and it is like a musical number of gay
erotica.
Yeah, there's no other way to put that. It
like
is.
They're just trying to out Nate.
Here's the thing. This point. You know how the second I saw this scene, the first thing I thought was, people always talk shit about the way Finn outed Santana, but this was horrific.
Yeah,
in the best way possible.
Like, it made me so conflicted because I was like, yes, he's an awful
destroy
character,
him
and destroy him. But then I realized, oh my god,
yeah,
like she just outed him to the entire school.
There were already rumors from season 1 that Nate was gay and whatever. That's from season 1. You can look it up if you want to. I'm not gonna waste time on it. So like, imagine. So Nate storms out there during the number, which I'm like, you're missing the number.
Like,
and
this
Cassie
is like the best part of the whole play. You're kind of missing it.
The audience is going crazy.
So
they're like
eating it up.
He's like, that song, Cat.
Holding Out for a Hero belongs to Shrek 2 and Ethan from Euphoria. I don't make the rules.
This is the second best use of Holding Out for a Hero of all time.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. It's Shrek and this Euphoria scene.
And they're like,
they're close.
Pretty damn close.
They're close. Cassie runs after him, and Nate, but now in like probably my 5th favorite line of the season, goes, the shit was really so homophobic. What? He's not
so
wrong.
Homophobic. like he's not wrong.
You?
What?
You said that?
You said that?
Anyway, in like the next 10 seconds, Nate dumps Cassie and kicks her out of his house.
Yeah. Within 10 seconds. Like, he literally is like, you know what? I'm done with you. We're done. Get out of my house. Out.
Peace.
And then Cassie.
Full horror movie.
Like,
Stairs,
fully,
like, you know the scene of the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park when he's like in the window and he's like that is Cassie at the
fogging
end of
the glass. Like, this isn't glass, but like, you get it. You get it.
Yeah. Some other quick things that happened this episode. They flashed to a scene of Rue sitting with her mom, where her mom basically tells Rue, if you want to kill yourself, go ahead. I don't care. I have to look about and care about Gia now. It is rough, and it is some tough love, but for some reason it felt like exactly where you're like, that is just what Rue needs to hear.
Yeah.
Like, it
She
didn't
needed
feel
that.
like abusive the way you think it would sound when you look at the line.
No.
But it felt like you were like, good, tell her.
I think it's because it feels like something that Rue needed to hear and never expected to hear. So
Yeah.
like for her mom to finally be like, you know what? No. If you're gonna do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Your sister doesn't care, and I have to care about other people now. Like my main concern is not you.
Yeah.
And I think she finally was like, oh shit. Wait, everyone else does have a life and like they do have problems and like everyone else has to care about their own and
Like,
not just
I'm
mine.
not the only person suffering.
Yeah. Like my problems are not everyone else's problems. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. And I think like Rue has probably always thought that like her story with her father was the worst thing that anyone has ever been through, and her family is the worst family that exists, and her issue is the worst thing that's ever happened. Which that if you're living in your own life,
God, yeah.
that is what happens. Is you're like, yeah, this is my only life, so when my issue's bad, it's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
So interesting scene, good scene. Nate also like has some scenes and flashbacks where he's talking about just like some trauma where it flashes for like 30 seconds of a dream or something of Cal on top of Nate having sex.
Yeah, in a sexual way. And they never confirm whether this actually happened.
I mean, they do a little bit in the finale. So that is the end of episode 7. I know we didn't really talk about the play that much, but like you should just go watch the play, you know?
Yeah, like again, it's mostly just stuff that's happened before.
Yeah, Lexi's being fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's great. Like really, if you like Lexi, you're gonna love it.
Just go watch it. Fez also, by the end of this episode, never makes it to the play as far as we know. His seat is
just
still
say
open.
like, hey, your friend never showed up. And you're like, what? Oh my God, that's crazy. What?
And now we're finally on to the finale of this episode, episode 8, which isn't, I wouldn't say like as bad looking at it twice, but it's definitely not 1, 5, and 7.
Yeah, I posted this on our Instagram too, and I think like when you look at this finale compared to the last finale, there's definitely a difference. Like for sure.
I'm gonna be honest, this finale felt like it could have been the end of the show. Like it sounds, the way they ended it, and I think it's because they weren't renewed yet. They got renewed halfway through the season airing, not halfway through filming the show, versus I think last season they got renewed pretty early on.
Yeah.
So
can you imagine? I'd be pissed if this was the finale.
Oh, I'd be so mad. But it also kind of makes me think, looking back, that they didn't know if they were going to get renewed or not. And then by like episode 6 or 7, they're like, oh, we just have to make a closer because we don't know if we're getting renewed.
Yeah.
Because that's why I think you hear a lot of people, like, we put up a poll or we put up a question to be answered what you feel. And a lot of people are saying like they felt like there was a lot of open ends, plot holes, things didn't really get cleared up. And I think it's because they were like, we got to fill in something just in case this is the end.
Yeah. But there were so many things.
So many
that like they didn't cover.
Yeah.
That needed to be covered. Like Lori.
But we should get into what happens in episode 8.
Yeah.
Before we get into what didn't happen in episode 8. Mm-hmm. So it basically starts off and Fez is going to be like, okay, guys, I'm heading out. But Faye and her boyfriend are there. And Ashley's like, why are you guys talking? What are you guys doing?
He's like, why are you guys being so secretive?
Interesting. So he goes and takes his little like switchblade and is like, I'm just going to hold this. Mm-hmm. Just going to hold this and watch you guys. As
Ashley does.
Yeah. And then Fez is like, hey, Lexi, I'm on my way. Number 1 rule, don't text on my way until you're in the car.
Yeah.
Don't text
you're literally driving on the way.
Until you're in the car.
Yeah.
Don't do it when you're still in the house and be like, okay, bye, everyone.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's like, I gotta go. And then Faye's boyfriend's like, don't go yet. I gotta talk to you. Why? Because he's wearing a wire. Mm-hmm. And the cops are listening. And Faye's like,
he's like, Faye, don't say anything. Like,
and Faye's like,
girl,
I won't. Anyway, Mouse, who's the drug dealer from season 1 that ended up being killed.
The ashtray killed.
Yeah, the ashtray killed from season 1.
In front of Faye's boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. So Faye's boyfriend is like, so Fez, the cops found out about Mouse and who killed him. And Faye being the bad bitch she is like, oh my God, and drops a glass. And then she's down under a counter where her boyfriend can't see her and looks at Fez and is like, shh, don't say anything. And Fez is like, oh, okay.
All right,
Okay,
so we're on this
you waited
shit now.
till now to tell me, but that's cool.
Yeah, why the fuck did she not say anything earlier?
It makes me mad.
Don't get me started.
Anyway, so then Faye, in another genius queen move, goes, wait, I thought you said that Lori killed Fez. Or not Fez, Lori killed Mouse. And the boyfriend's like, I didn't say that. And she's like, yeah, you told me Lori, the drug dealer that lives in the apartment complex on whatever street it is, killed Mouse. And I was like, oh, you better work. Did you have this planned?
She just popped that out like it was
I was
nothing.
like, oh, okay. And you know what? He deserves that, because back in episode 1, we found out he didn't even tell Faye it was New Year's. He didn't even tell her it was New Year's.
My boyfriend didn't even fucking tell me it's New Year's.
And then Fez is like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I think you gotta go. Mm-hmm. And then Ashtray, in a rash move, takes his switchblade and stabs the boyfriend through the neck, killing him.
This is what, like, is it the second or the third murder that Ashtray's committed?
I think second. No, third.
I think maybe. It's third.
Third. Anyway, and Fez is like, fuck,
man.
So,
like, he's on a wire. So they're trying to, like, muffle him. He can't make any sound. Like,
they throw his phone into some cokes. Not coke the drug, coke the drink. To try to turn off. Fez is like, I'm never seeing this goddamn play.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh shit. And he's like, listen, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to take the fall for this murder. And Ashtray, you're gonna go outside and give yourself up to the police because you're a kid. You might go away for a little, but not as long. And Ashtray doesn't say shit and is like, no. And Fez is like,
you're funny.
Go do it. I'm gonna take the fall. And Ashtray's like, no. And he goes and gets every gun he can and locks himself into the bathroom in the bathtub. And Fez is like, oh, hell no. And Faye's just like kind of walking around the house. Yeah. He's like, I don't really know what to do now, so I'm going to wander. And I'm just going to go through all of Fez's storyline, and then I'll get into everybody else's.
Okay.
So anyway, the cops bust in, and Fez is like, Ashtray, get out. He's a kid, get out. And the cops are like, sir, you need to get on the ground because you have a knife in your hand. And Fez is like, he's a kid. And Ashtray decides he's going to shoot his way out of this and fires through the door at the police and ends up shooting Fez in the side of his stomach, or in his abdomen. Yeah. Fez hits the ground, still like alive though, as Ashtray's still shooting the police. The problem is now Ashtray's fired at the police. He's armed. The police know it. That's going to be a shoot on sight.
He's also shot the police. Like, I think he killed a guy.
I think, yeah. No, he kills a guy and in this scene, but not like in this first moment. And it's like graphic where you're like, God.
It's graphic. Like,
damn.
It's bad.
Like, I know we talked about the amount of nudity, but I was like, I get it. He's shooting.
Crazy. Yeah.
So literally the house is just like holes. It looks like Swiss cheese. Grandma is still in her room.
Grandma's just chilling. Like, there's like all these gunshots and she's just like, all right.
Here we are.
What am I going to do?
Yeah, eventually, Faye's definitely arrested at this point. Fez is on the ground. Ashtray opens the door, shoots a cop in the head, and Ashtray, big spoiler alert, ends up being killed by the police.
It's so heartbreaking.
Very heartbreaking scene.
They just show his laser, the target. It's going up. It's going up. I thought they were going to stop here and just shoot him in the throat, to be quite honest. But it keeps going and it goes to the head. And Ashtray gets shot in the head and is killed. But it's so heartbreaking because it's just Fez laying on the floor, screaming, crying, like yelling, begging for his life. Like, like he's just a kid, like, please stop. And it's so sad.
Yeah, as if Ashtray didn't just kill his fourth person.
Literally. But I will say, I said in the beginning of the episode, I saw this on Twitter, they met in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
He died in the hallway. Yeah. They ended in the hallway, yeah. It's really, really sad, like full circle moment.
But. Back in episode 1, during Fez's backstory, when Fez gets hit on the head, they mention that he had like, he didn't remember, I think, for 2 months or something like that, and he had a lot of blank spots or like patches of light in his vision. And they like show kind of what the sequence is, and one of those sequences is a shot of this sequence of Ashtray before he's shot by the police, sitting on the floor with the dialogue. Really? Yeah, and what Rue's saying in the narration over that is Fez's only worry at the time was who's going to take care of Ashtray. Which is, I would like to say this. There was a leaked script that came out where the leaked script showed that Fez was going to die. And I, from the beginning, went, no, that script's probably leaked just for hype, and that's not the real script. So that sequence from episode 1, I think, proves that I was right.
I just really don't understand why they would leak a script in general then.
I do that all the time. That
doesn't make any sense to
I
me.
know that Marvel scripts have been leaked to get hype. Star Wars scripts have been leaked.
I know, but like, why? Like,
it's not their real script. They just do it to everyone to be like, whoa, the script's out. What's that?
I know, but like, that's not going to make me want to go see it.
The No Way Home script was leaked too.
Yeah,
which is ironic considering that like you guys really didn't need hype for that one. But anyway,
I just really don't understand.
So Fez is arrested. He never makes it to the play, and the police are like stomping on this letter he wrote to Lexi, not on purpose, but it's like, oh my god,
it's like covered in blood. It's really sad.
Are we never gonna get to see what this letter says? So Fez is going to jail. That's pretty much where the episode ends, except we don't know Fez's health state at the end of the episode. We know he's shot, but he's alive as far as we know.
Yeah.
Now we get to go back to high school where Cassie pulls a Maddie. I don't know how many people realize that she did the exact same Maddie did at the carnival from season 1, where she gets on stage and she's like, wow, wow, wow. Like just embarrassing the shit out of Cassie on stage now, and herself, like making an absolute fool of herself. And people from the audience, I would like to say, are shouting some pretty hilarious things like, show us your boobs, you're racist.
Yep, that's racist.
Yeah. So just embarrassing the shit out of Lexi. Cassie's like, at least I lived a life, you're a loser, blah, blah, blah. Lexi's crying. Sue's the hero of the day, runs on stage, and she's like, you guys, this is all a part of the play. My baby's a genius, trying to like cover it up. She brings Ethan out, and she's like, Ethan's amazing.
The hug on stage.
Yeah.
She's like, he's amazing, isn't he? He's amazing.
And Maddie from the audience is looking at Cassie and says the line, oh, this bitch needs to be put down.
That's another top line.
Oh, this bitch needs to be put down.
Like, wow, what a line.
This also leads to the moment we have been waiting for since episode 1.
We barely got.
Where the girls finally get into the fight. Maddie runs on stage and literally chases Cassie out of the theater, down the hall. BB and Kat follow. Kat yelling, no, don't fight her. BB yelling, yeah, Maddie, kick her ass.
I love her.
She fucked your boyfriend.
Yeah, she's right.
Literally, Maddie is slapping Cassie across the face, bitch slapping her. To the most satisfaction we're gonna get, slamming Cassie's head into a
wall. Like, the thing is, I feel like we didn't get enough.
No, I wanted to see a Fez level SmackDown.
Yeah, like the most of it is just them running around in a circle on stage, like trying to chase each other. And I'm like, no. I want to see like physical contact. I want to see SmackDown. I want UFC. I want John Cena. I want The Rock. I want Manny Pacquiao. I want all of it.
Yeah, this is what I mean, where like I didn't get the full satisfaction. I got like a slam in the wall, but then they showed her face afterwards. I'm like, I wanted a broken nose.
Yeah, I wanted like full on black eye.
I wanted the wig ripped off.
Like cut in the brow because you just,
just destroyed her.
I want her destroyed because we know that Maddie can do it.
Yeah,
they showed her shoving a woman's face into a window, like,
and a hand dryer. Come on now.
Yeah, the hand dryer. Like, I think that's why they didn't, is because they were like, look at what she can do, and like building hype for it, and then they didn't, and like, fuck that.
Whatever, I guess. So
you're literally gonna stop getting viewers at this point. Like, we're gonna stop watching if you keep doing this.
If you can't give it to us,
you can get it together. Stop watching this shit.
Also in this episode, Rue's doing all her apologies again. She goes to Elliot and she's like, Elliot, I'm not apologizing to you for shit. And I was like, yeah, don't. But she did say that she forgives him. To which Elliot decides, hey, can I play you a song? And doesn't shut up for like 5 minutes.
I didn't fucking ask to go to a Dominic Fike concert, HBO. I would have paid for a ticket if I wanted to go.
I liked the song, but I was
It's
like,
not a bad song, but why the
I got
fuck
the
do you
whole
need it?
song.
The only song, or the only person that I want to hear singing on Euphoria is Zendaya.
And Labyrinth.
And that's
it.
I don't care.
I just, like, I knew Elliot, the character, was a douchebag, but, like, it confirmed it when he sang for 5 minutes and then went, it's not done yet.
You know what it's giving? Casey Frame. Can I sing something?
Hey.
Can I sing something?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like, like,
it's a good song, but that's it.
It's good, I'll listen to it, but like, why the fuck did I need to listen to it for 5 minutes?
Yeah. Sorry.
Also, she's just sitting there and she's like,
Rue is clean, sober, gorgeous, did her eyebrows.
Clean, moisturized.
Looking great. Did not deserve to have to sit there that whole time and listen to that. But it's okay.
No.
Whatever they decide. I think they can't be friends is what they decide on because they're bad for each other. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Rue does decide her BFF is in fact Lexi, and we get lots of scenes of them being BFFs and having talks about their daddy issues. To the point that Rue starts the chant for Lexi to come back on stage. Period. Thank you. Thank you for that. I really needed that. That was like the satisfaction. I was like, I needed that.
Like, this is just what we've been asking for.
I needed to see them be friends again.
Yeah.
Please get away from Jules and Elliot and please go back to Lexi and like join the theater club and like High School Musical this out, you know?
Yeah.
The rest of the episode, Cassie tells the girls while they're in the bathroom and her nose is all bleeding. She's like, you know what's funny is Nate dumped me before I even got on stage. And Maddie went, not the first time, and then left. And that's where
I think she said
ends.
this is just the beginning.
Yeah. And then that's where their story ends.
That's not enough.
That's the end of the Maddie, Cassie, Nate love triangle. Oh, so not stupid. Of Nate, of just that love triangle.
Yeah.
Nate decided this one pissed me off.
Yeah, this was a little like, okay.
Nate is once again drunk driving somewhere and loading his gun on his way. Where does he end up? He ends up at his dad's factory or like
warehouse,
whatever. Where his dad is there having maybe like a little kickback with a lot of people, men, women, maybe non-binary people. Never really confirmed everyone's gender, but and Nate's like, "What up, Dad?" And he's like, "Oh, God,
this bitch."
And basically, he's like, wow, look at you being a whore. And his dad's like, great. So they have a talk. Great. So Nate has a talk with his dad and basically tells everybody about how his dad had sex with a minor and films people while they're having sex without their consent. And everyone's like, that's weird. And then Nate tells everyone how he often, like after he watched those tapes of his dad, had nightmares about his dad having sex with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, confirming that sequence is a dream as far as we know up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But then everyone's like, we should probably go. And then Nate pulls out the gun and is like, I want revenge. Only for him to then just put it back in his pocket and pull out a flash drive and be like, I called the cops.
Yeah. It's such a Nate thing to do, though. Like, he really does love the drama.
He loaded the gun for dramatic effect. He
did a wig reveal of, like, an arrest.
There was no reason to load the gun. Like, you could have just brought the gun unloaded.
It's literally, again, it's just to be like, guys, listen, he's gonna shoot his dad. And then we're like, oh my God, he's gonna shoot his dad, he's gonna kill him. And then he's like, no, he's not.
Yeah. It's
like the Maddie and Cassie of Maddie beats all these people's asses, but she's not going to beat Cassie's.
Like, what? But anyway, Cal gets arrested, and Nate literally goes to talk to the cops while he's a drunk minor who just drunk drove there with a loaded gun in his pocket and does not face a single consequence. Literally does not face a single consequences for anything he did the entire season, except getting beat by Fez, which is his consequence from last season.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done with this. I don't care about Nate. I don't care if he gets a redemption arc. Literally, I don't care about him. I can't stand when he's on my screen anymore.
You know what's weird? I feel like they almost, like, I know we just broke down the whole season, and obviously he did terrible things. I feel like he almost wasn't as terrible this season compared to last season, and I know that he was technically bad, but, like, something about him, maybe I'm just used to him by now. And I'm like, he doesn't have, like, he didn't have the same hold on everyone.
I guess because now we're like, oh, he has like serious dad issues, but also like he does not face a single consequence for anything he does or says. Literally nothing. And I get that like Maddie's plan was probably to blackmail him with like the tape or something, and that was going to be her revenge on Nate, but we didn't get that. Like he does not face any consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand it. I can't do it.
It's just not good.
I can't. I guess getting to other people I can't stand. After the play, Jules is like, I'm gonna go talk to Rue. And she goes and sits next to Rue and she's like, I know you're mad at me. I just wanted to say that I love you. And Rue was like, okay.
Just like your point.
Yeah. Gives her a kiss and leaves. Peace.
Good for her. She's finally choosing her own peace.
Finally, please. It's
been too fucking long.
The season ends with Rue walking away, basically saying she stayed clean for the rest of the school year. Yeah. And season 2's done. So, yeah, summer came and she was like, drugs out.
You know what? I'm in. Fuck it, I'm in.
Sun out, coke out, let's go.
Yeah.
A very like anticlimactic finale, especially after what season 7 gave us, or episode 7 gave us.
Yeah. We all expected so much more, and we kind of deserved more.
Honestly,
let's be real.
You put us through hell.
Like you were like breaking down each episode, and I was like, oh shit, like yeah, that did happen. But now again, at the end of this, I don't remember really anything that happened. There's a couple things. I'm like, I couldn't tell you. Like it just didn't feel as like big and grand.
Which is ironic considering all the stuff that happened is so much more than what happened in season 1.
Yeah.
Like the stakes that should have been there, like you're like, yes, literally people died this season.
Yeah.
But for some reason
it didn't have the wow factor.
Yeah.
Of the first season. Like something was missing.
Which is like, again, where I say like Fez's storyline seemed like it didn't have stakes. Literally, Ashley died. And for some reason, I was like, I care more about Maddie kicking Cassie's ass than I do about this guy dying.
Yeah.
Like there feels like higher stakes for Cassie than there do for Ashtray, as there is a red dot from the bullet on his head.
Like this is a literal child that was murdered and was a murderer. And I still was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, can we get to the fight now?
I don't know what you expect me to do. Like I asked for one thing. Actually, I asked for 2 things the whole season and you couldn't even give them to me. It was Fexy and Maddie and Cassie beating each other's asses, and that was it. And
you just gave us like drops in a bucket of that.
Yeah. Also, like, no Cat. You literally just ruined her whole character. When McKay's she was a loved character.
Cat was a fan favorite.
Fan favorite for good reason. And they gave her nothing. And it makes me so mad. Because if it's true, that whole drama with Barbie Ferreira and Sam Levinson, I don't give a fuck.
That's unprofessional. Figure it out.
That is so unprofessional.
Yeah. Adjust.
Like, why the fuck would you write her in like that?
This season, I think, reflected all the drama behind the scenes as well. Because there were lots of rumors that Zendaya and Jacob Elordi refused to work with each other.
Yeah.
Because we also, like, never got any scenes of them together.
Did we? Yeah, I was going to say, did we ever get one frame of them together?
Mm-mm.
I don't think.
Which last season, when they finally had a scene together, it felt like, again, all the puzzle pieces fit together. All of a sudden, all the worlds were coming together. This season, like, although everything was more interconnected, I felt like it still never came together.
No. They never like connected the dots the way that like it should have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So at the end of the season, what are some highlights for you?
Maddie shoving Cassie's head into a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Fexy and them singing Stand By Me. I'm still shocked that they didn't do a Stand By Me moment. Like they didn't play that at the end.
Yeah. I think they ran out of time. They wasted a lot of time on the Elliot song.
Yeah. Which they didn't need to. Every single person who I know that watched it was like, why the fuck did they do that?
We needed one verse, and then he can go, it's not done yet.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The play, for sure. Sue's.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first episode was great, too.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, seriously, episode 5, too.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Fantastic episode.
That was one where I was finally like, okay, I'm watching Euphoria again, you know?
Mm-hmm. We were like, this is a step up Euphoria kind of thing where you're like, oh, okay, we're in season 2.
Like, this is what I missed. Yeah.
I would say definitely like season 1, 5, and 7 are the highlights.
I mean, episodes?
Oh, sorry, I said season. No, yeah,
like,
episodes 1, 5, and 7 are definitely the highlights of the season.
Without a doubt.
Lexi, Ethan, Sue's, surprise hits.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I
Absolutely.
like Sue's because I remember all last season I was like, oh, she's just a drunk bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Honestly.
I was like, she's just a bad mom.
The thing with the season is there's a lot of like storylines, honestly, I didn't even mention in this recap. I completely left out Maddie's babysitting, McKay's scene with Nate. Like, there's stuff that like they just kind of dropped, and we were waiting for. That's like, I think the fault of the season is they like had too much to say.
Yeah.
Which is why
they waited too long. Also, why did we have 8 episodes? You should have done maybe like 12.
Yeah.
10
because
maybe.
If you had this much you wanted to do, because what happened
needed
to
wrap
Lori?
Up more.
Lori
I know that
doesn't
like that's
care.
gonna be something in the next season though.
I guess, but
also I want episodes in the next season for like the origin stories for Rue's mom and Gia.
Yeah, I want to get back to character focused episodes.
I think that's another reason why it was such a big success that first season, because you learn to love all these characters. You know, and when you kind of like back away from that, you're not focusing on these characters individually, but like as a whole of this show of like the drama and everything, but like you can't care about it if you don't care about the characters.
That's the thing, is I also felt like season 1, which I was hoping season 2 could try to figure a way to do that, is it felt like every episode we got introduced to a character, and then throughout the episode we saw their story and also how Rue's tying into that story. Do you know what I mean? Like, the story is about Rue, and then all these things around her that she's contributing to and contributing to her, versus season 2 was just kind of like Rue had her thing going on, and then like a bunch of other stuff were going on. And I'm like,
she was never the main focus until episode 5.
Yeah, and you're like, what is the story about? Because I think season 1 was all about Rue's journey, and then all the other side things going on. Yeah. This season was like stuff.
Yeah, it just never felt like there was like a focus, a set focus of like a storyline of what we're supposed to expect. And like looking forward. I feel like that's why everyone just focused on Maddie and Cassie, because that's such a crucial storyline that everyone was like, okay, well, we know that it's going to get resolved by the end of it. Like, it has to. Maybe that's why.
I mean, season 3 will be coming out in 2 years. So
that's what Twitter's saying.
No, I think they confirmed it. That'll be 2024.
I did not see anything. I just saw on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw a video confirming it, like in the Euphoria infographic that confirmed they got renewed. But
yeah,
I didn't look that much into it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, because I saw like it trending, and then people were just saying like, no, it's just on Twitter.
Well, so, I'm guessing it won't be less than 2 years. I feel
like they'll probably start production in like a year. Yeah, 8 months, something like that.
I hope the lesson they take is that we can't focus on 24 storylines at once. Yeah. You have to let us know what this whole season is supposed to be about, or where we need our attention to be. Yeah.
We can't do this shit.
I also definitely think there might be a time jump because everyone is aging fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was even saying Ashtray from season 1 to season 2. It was 2 years in between in real time. In the show was a few months. And that kid grew up.
Well, he's like 15 now.
I know. So I was like, they're going to have to figure out a way to make Ashtray's storyline make sense because he's getting so old. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's how they solved the problem. But I think there's going to be a time jump for season 3. Yeah. So it'll be summer vacation, quote unquote. And half of our characters will graduate at the end of the semester.
They already insinuated that Maddie's leaving. Which, like,
kind of weird.
They're going to have Alexa Demi leave.
They just threw it in there.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm out. And you're like, where's she going? It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. There'll probably be a time jump to college or like some type of adulthood.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be messy, but I will be watching.
I don't know.
I'll be watching. I got to see the mess.
Yeah. It's the mess I can't stop looking away from.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And I guess that pretty much brings us to the end of our Euphoria wrap-up of season 2. Yeah. By definition, the mess we can't stop watching.
It's literally the dumpster fire I can't help but look at.
Yeah. And I'll say this. The writing, as you can tell, is kind of all over the place and a bit of a mess. The cinematography?
Beautiful.
Cleared his plate.
Beautiful.
You can't, it got
everything
so much better this season. The makeup was missing. Coloring. If it had the makeup of season 1,
Now, I know for Maddie, at least, Alexa Demi, they would ask her, what do you want? Mm-hmm. Which I think that might have been like the number one mistake because she just said she wanted a wing every single episode.
Yeah, and I was like,
I understand Maddie wants a wing, or like Maddie kind of has a wing as like her thing, but like you didn't want to like spice it up.
I don't know, something.
Like Lexi was the one with the exciting makeup this season, and that says something.
And Kat, but we didn't get any Kat.
No, we didn't fucking see her.
Also, I could be wrong. I thought season 1, the glitter represented Rue being high, and Rue was high for half the season and not a speck of glitter on her face.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know why I don't know.
My hopes for season 3 are a little bit more straightforward writing and glitter.
And like, don't let me down.
Please.
Also, like, I have to say the soundtrack is always really good, like when they add songs in, not like new ones that they've made for the show, but like adding songs in. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't as like it was like older songs that I like never would have expected to be in here. Like first season it was a lot of like JID, and like it makes sense because I know that Drake has a part in the show and also a part in like the music coordination of the show. So I thought it was interesting that this season he also I think still has a credit, and it was completely different.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of weird to me, but still a good soundtrack nonetheless. But also, why don't we have a full score? You made one score for one season and then you're like, eh.
Yeah.
Like you have Labyrinth. Come on. Also, the version of I'm Tired with Zendaya, she posted, I think it was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They made it 3 weeks ago. The final cut like of the show was due that day, and they were like, let's do something.
Mm-hmm. And it's now officially on streaming services if you want to go listen to it. And Elliot's song will be released Friday.
Yeah.
I'll stream it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I guess I'll do it.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed our Euphoria roundup. Hopefully this might save you some time of having to go back and watch episode 2. And, 8.
Yeah.
And we hope you'll be here in 2 years for Euphoria season 3 roundup.
Hopefully.
And we hope you'll be here next week for our next episode as well.
But if you want some content between then, we just posted some stuff on our socials, and our Instagram is @thepop.podcast, and our TikTok is @thepop.pod. We have stuff on YouTube where you're going to be watching this, so hello.
You got to hit the subscribe button.
Hello.
You got to hit the follow button.
Got to hit follow. You got to like our stuff so the algorithm knows that you like us.
Otherwise, you might not get to play with us. We got polls, we got questionnaires.
We got fun stuff. Come on.
Literally. Anyway.
Shut.
Well, I hope I see her next week. I'm gonna end this like
Yeah.
this. I hope I see you next week, Shy.
I guess we'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Bye,
bestie.
besties. I'll see you later.